Namaste and welcome back. In today's session, we are going to be exploring the fundamentals or the basics of a good yoga class, a good asana class. In our modern times, a yoga class mostly refers to a class where we go through a series of postures or asanas, and the most important aspects of these asana classes or yoga classes is what we will be discussing over the next few minutes. The first and foremost and by far the most important aspect of a good asana class is safety. Safety is paramount. You will never, or you should never, push through any pain or discomfort, which means, of course, that it is not a competition. This has to be impressed upon everybody that is doing an asana class, especially when you are in a group setting where you got other yogis around you doing the asana class. Then the teacher should insist that each one of you should work within your limits. You're not limiting yourself, but the important thing is you are working safely within your limits so that you do not injure yourself, especially if you're a beginner. It is quite tempting initially to look at somebody who is beside you or in front of you and say, oh, that person is doing it, maybe I can do it. No, it is about working within your limits. So the important thing to remember again as part of this is that take this as a journey. Take this as a journey, and during that journey you are slowly improving upon your asanas. And the second most important aspect of a good yoga class is about the breath. The breath should always be smooth. It should be natural. It should not be erratic. It should not be labored, and should always be relatively deep enough. And every movement in the class, every movement of an asana or a posture should be to an inhalation or to an exhalation. And the fundamentals here are pretty scientific and simple and commonsensical. So when you are, let's say, raising your hands or lifting your hands and stretching them above your head, you're expanding this capacity, or you're expanding the space in your chest, which means the lungs have got that capacity to expand, so you should be able to draw the air in. When you're folding forward, then you're compressing the space, so you should be exhaling. One of the fundamentals. When you're twisting, then it's always to an exhalation, because remember that when we exhale, the muscles relax. So I would take a nice deep breath, and then if I'm to twist to the right, then I'm doing it during the exhalation. And a few other simple fundamentals which the yoga teacher should insist upon. So each movement should be to the length of the inhalation and to the length of the exhalation. And if I remember, I just told you before that it should not be a competition. So the teacher should never make you look like you're competing with another fellow student in the class. The third aspect, which you can slowly develop over time, is called the Ujjayi breath or the yogic breath. And the way this breath operates is that you slightly constrict the back of your throat or the clitoris, and then you breathe from the back of your throat. So the sound, it sounds like the gentle waves crashing, in an ocean, or some people have referred it to as the Darth Vader, in Star Wars movie Darth Vader. So that's sort of a hissing sound. So if I were to quickly demonstrate it to you. So that is an Ujjayi breath. So during the course of your asana class, you should try and engage with this deep Ujjayi breathing. Every movement, again, should be to an inhale and to an exhale, and the scientific fundamentals which we covered just before a few minutes ago. Now, the other most important aspect of an asana class is where your mind is. Remember, the yoga sutras or all the yogic literature that precedes thousands of years ago, yoga was a practice of being able to quieten or still the mind. So when we are doing our asana class, we should try and see that we are totally focused from the beginning to the end in the present moment. It's extremely hard, right? So trying to actually focus on and being present in the moment during a 60 minutes or a 90-minute class is hard, but that is what yoga is. So what do we do? How do we do this? Engage the mind with the breath. Anchor the mind to the breath. Intently observe what is happening as you go through each movement. So if you're inhaling and you're lifting up to the length of the inhalation, anchor the mind to the breath, intently follow what is happening. And over time, you will slowly realize that you are more and more in the practice. If the mind wanders during the practice, bring it back without any judgment. Intently watch what is happening in the mind. That is yoga. So I hope this is of good value to you. There are some other advanced practices that can be incorporated, like using a mantra or a sound, mentally chanting throughout the whole class, that you can use as an anchor to engage the mind. So hopefully again this session or this video is of some use to you in having your own practice at home, or maybe when you go out looking for a yoga teacher. So if you like this video, or if you would be updated, if you would like to be updated on future videos on this series, then please click on the subscribe button on the right bottom corner. And till I see you in the future, much sooner than later, namaste. Thank you and stay safe.